Greetings, ambivert.brutal here, and I'm collaborating with black metal artists. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing a band from New York. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Steve, and I do guitar and vocals and all the drum production stuff for Amenspear, which is my project, my progressive black metal project.
It's a pleasure to have you. So for my first question, can you tell us about the origins of Amenspear? What inspired you to create this project?
Sure. So I used to have two other projects. One was Vathis, which was a black metal project, and the other was a 𝓑𝓻𝓾𝓽, which was a death metal project. And as I wrote music for both of those projects, I realized that I kind of like had a certain style to my guitar playing, and I guess like a certain sense of melody. So I kind of just combined both those sounds into one project, and so Amenspear was formed instead, and that kind of like it's a more progressive black metal with like death metal influences. Um, and that's how it started. I formed the project last year in 2024 and released one album in September, Vaera, which is it's 6 tracks. It's about an hour long, and then just this past March I released A Casket of Relics, which is the 26-minute EP.
I do have questions about that, but we'll get to that. So your style is rooted in black metal. How would you describe your unique approach to the genre?
I think I definitely have a lot of influences from like Absu and Enslaved. Um, I kind of just like take influences from progressive rock and folk and classical and even like medieval music sometimes. I like for like my black metal to be kind of on the thrashier side, a little more melodic also. Um, and just like I kind of like let the songs form how they are and just like play out, and they end up being long most of the time.
I heard a bit of it and I like it's like what I would listen to when I'm gonna relax. The in like the just the instrumentals.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
I guess the concept of relaxing to black metal is something that metalheads can definitely appreciate. I think most people hear black metal and think it's like makes you crazy, but I think for most metalheads, death metal and black metal can be a little bit relaxing. So
Most definitely. So your new EP, A Casket of Relics, the new EP consists of a single 26-minute track. What was the creative process behind it and what theme does it explore?
so for that song, it's kind of like the title is almost like a double entendre because it's like I just had a bunch of riffs left over from Vaera, the full length album, and I didn't know what to do with them, so I kind of just challenged myself to fit them all together into one song, and that ended up being A Casket of Relics. It was just kind of like all these old riffs just like kind of pieced together. So that's kind of all this. Also, the title was like the relics, like those are the
Yeah.
riffs. They're kind of like put in together. Um, and so that's how the song was composed, just like stitching together old riffs and trying to make them fit. And I think for the most part, it kind of sounds pretty cohesive, surprisingly, even though most of the sections were unrelated to each other initially. As far as themes, like lyrical themes, it's kind of just about like it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's almost like about like growing up, like kind of like getting into your late 20s and just like certain old friends, like realizing that like certain old friends and old lifestyles like aren't good for you anymore, like not partying as much and stuff like that, and just kind of like I don't know, just leaving old shit behind you, basically, and becoming like a stronger person
A
for it.
new version of yourself, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I like that. Are there any particular lyrical themes or concepts that drive your music, especially in Vaira and A Casket of Relics?
Um, I mean, usually my lyrics are all kind of just like, I mean, well, some lyrics are like kind of historical stuff and things like that, but for the most part, I think my lyrics are mostly like personal. I tried like, you know, I think like death metal and black metal have a lot of negative themes, obviously,
Oh yeah.
and I mean like that does definitely does fit the music, and I use Amenspear's music also as like as a vessel for like my negative emotions, but I like to have like the lyrics kind of always end a little more positive. Uh, that's kind of something I took from like a band like Gojira, right? Like Gojira, like all their lyrics are kind of like pretty positive, right? And so it's just like I find like all my lyrical themes just end up being like it's struggle in the beginning, in the first verses, and then by the end, like it sounds a little more triumphant, which I think I don't know. It's probably maybe a little bit unique for black metal. It's not like entirely negative and doom and gloom all the time. It's just yeah, I like for the songs to just end like on a positive note.
A little bit of both. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
still heavy though. Still heavy, of
Yeah, of
course.
course. Being an independent band, how do you approach the recording and production process? Do you handle everything yourself?
I do. Yeah, yeah. It's just me, my guitar, my computer, microphone for vocals, and then I have a drum machine. Sometimes I'll put in a little synth, so I have a synth pad also, like a miniature keyboard. And I just run it all through a DAW, and just it just goes into Logic or GarageBand sometimes, and I just form the song. Yeah.
Wow, is it a lot of work? I'm curious.
Um, it can be. I mean, it's a lot of work when it's like, I guess, for a song like A Casket of Relics, because it's 26 minutes and there's tempo changes and all sorts and time signatures and things like that. Like that's a lot of work because fitting it together like with all the tempo changes is like actually quite frustrating sometimes,
Yeah.
production wise. But otherwise, for like shorter songs, like I mean, there's a couple of shorter songs on like Vaera and stuff like that. Those are easier just because it's one tempo all the way through. Yeah, so I find that when a song is long and has lots of tempo changes, and that's when it gets a little tough and annoying to produce, but it's worth it in the end. So
Yeah. Of course, it takes time and everything, but at the end, the result is something that you're happy with.
yeah.
Does Amenspear have any plans to bring this music to a live setting, or is it purely a studio project?
Right now it's purely a studio project. I would consider performing live, like if the project kind of blew up, let's say, like and people were really interested in it.
Yeah.
Um, I think yeah, I mean I'm being reviewed by Rock Hard Italy magazine and also a Danish magazine. I think it's Metalized magazine from Denmark. And so hopefully that brings me some new followers. Right now, I think I have about 60 followers on Spotify, which is I guess a good start for
It's a good
a
start,
small
yeah.
independent band. And hopefully maybe that'll be a couple hundred by the time the magazines are out because they have some pretty large readership.
That's exciting because they're known out there, and I know you're gonna have like a lot new listeners or people
Yeah,
that might want to get into it. Yeah,
yeah, that's definitely what I'm hoping for. So if that happens and it gets a little more popular, at least by progressive black metal standards, yeah, I would definitely consider like getting some friends together, and I know some guys, in other projects, and yeah, maybe forming a live lineup and starting some shows.
that'd be exciting.
Yeah.
How has the black metal scene in New York influenced your music, if at all?
Um, I guess like honestly, not much. I mean, like I don't listen to too many black metal bands based out of New York. Definitely the one that I do like from way back when I was a teenager is definitely 𝓑𝓻𝓾𝓽. I mean, 𝓑𝓻𝓾 is definitely like probably maybe the most well known black metal band from New York. And yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate like their approach to black metal. They just do whatever they want. They just like they incorporate all sorts of different influences, and every album is always a kind of a different take on black metal. They have atmospheric albums and aggressive albums and melodic albums and tons of progressive and avant-garde albums too, but all with that black metal base. And so I like their approach, and they're definitely an influence for me. I mean, their first two albums are really really great, and some of the first black metal albums I've ever liked. Even before I was listening to them before I discovered like the Norwegian stuff. So yeah.
Is any of the Norwegian stuff part of like your influence as well?
Definitely. I mean, 𝓑𝓾𝓽 is to me they're the greatest black metal band of all time. I mean, A Blaze in the Northern Sky is incredible.
Classic.
And yeah, I mean, definitely their riffing style, like that kind of. Obviously, they have the classic tremolo stuff, but they also have more just like those chunky Celtic Frost influence riffs and punkier side also. And I try to have that in my music, definitely. Also, Immortal. I love Immortal and Enslaved and Emperor. Yeah.
Thank you for that. The imagery and presentation, sorry, the imagery and presentation of black metal are crucial. How do you approach the visual aspect of a man's spear?
Um, Honestly, I kind of don't put much thought into it. I'm kind of just like it's just me. Like this is who I am. I'm kind of just like a regular guy, and so I don't do like corpse paint and stuff like that or anything. Like I don't try to put up like an occult type image or anything like that. I just like it's just me. I'm just a guy making music, and I feel like that's kind of like what black metal should be today. Like, I mean, even all these guys like 𝓑𝓻𝓾𝓽 from Emperor has like an Instagram, and he's with his like family and dogs and stuff for that, and like he's just a regular guy, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
of course.
it's like we don't need to have. I feel like you don't need to have like spikes and coarse paint and things like that. Like,
True.
yeah. So for myself, that's kind of just how I like to come across, and then for the music and the cover art and stuff like that, it's kind of go with like an old kind of a little like old paintings and stuff like that, and just like a darker mood for the album covers. But for myself, I'm just a regular guy that just makes music, and I mean, there's a lot of metal fans out there like that. So yeah,
I like the response. It's so true though.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
my next, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Yeah, sorry. I was just I
Okay.
like. Yeah, I think you go to a metal concert and you see just regular guys, right?
Yeah,
So yeah.
totally. So for my next question, with the Casket of Relics now released, what's next for Amenspear? Are there more releases or collaborations planned?
Definitely more releases. I have honestly, I have a couple of hours of music recorded. I haven't done the vocals for all the other music also, but yeah, definitely putting more albums together. Finishing up vocals, finishing up some song structures and production, and then yeah, I want to get another album out definitely this year, and then maybe a couple more EPs. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of music that I've written, and it all still has that black metal base, but it's also a little more varied than Vaera was definitely. So
That's good. You just have to implement like the vocals and then like are they practically done like the songs or it's just the vocals that you gotta add?
certain songs are definitely done. Other songs like I go back and kind of like tweak them constantly until like they really feel finished. But certain songs are done, and then yeah, it's just a matter of I have lyrics also for a couple other a bunch of the songs, and it's just a matter of just getting into my basement recording studio and just getting the
Oh,
mic and
okay.
screaming. So yeah.
Okay. And for my final question, is there any message for those who are discovering your music for the first time?
Yeah, I hope they enjoy it. I hope that they like kind of appreciate uh the long songs durations and kind of like let the songs play out. Some songs might start like in a slower way, a more like ambient way, and I hope they let the song play out because there's some like really good like awesome riffs in there to be honest. And
Yeah.
like I listen to my own music, and I actually enjoy listening to my own songs, and so yeah, I hope people just check it out and like it, and stay tuned and follow me on Instagram and Bandcamp and Spotify, and just keep updated on new music because I'm going to be releasing new music throughout the year.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.